Hey guys, Evan Stone here with the Professional Amateur, and today we're going to be talking about the Sony RX100 and Zhiyun Crane. First, I want to apologize for wearing a cardigan in my first video. Completely inexcusable. Second, if you haven't switched to a Sony ecosystem, I have a suggestion. Call your mom and ask for money. Hey mom, hey, can I have $1,000? Yeah, for a camera. I know I called last week. Mom, come on. Return on investment, what's that? Come on, Mom. Help me out. I'm a filmmaker and photographer. Fine, I'm not coming home for Christmas then. Just kidding, we're all adults here. Max out your credit card. Yes, I'm calling to extend my credit. What do you mean I'm not qualified? Now that you're a Sony shooter, let's jump in. First, we're going to talk about the Sony RX100 Mark V. This is a moderately priced point-and-shoot camera, priced at $1,000. It shoots 1080 at 120 frames per second and 4K at 30. There's been a lot of popularity with the Sony a6500 as a primary vlogging rig or as a travel rig. I love the Sony a6500. That's what I'm filming with right now. When I traveled with it and filmed with it, it just seemed really big and heavy and conspicuous. I just didn't want to travel with this rig right here. I mean, it looks good, it films great, I just didn't want to do it. I made this mirror with my bare hands, by the way. Looks good. This camera allows you to shoot in apertures up to f1.8, which is great. It has a built-in neutral density filter. And also, it allows you to flip the screen up, which is something that the Sony a6500 is missing. So if you're vlogging, you're able to see what you're doing. It shoots in 4K. The only thing with shooting in 4K is you're roughly going to get about 5 to 10 minutes of shooting in 4K before it begins to warm up and then shut down. That's something to be cognizant of. Let's talk about the price. So with Zhiyun Crane and with the Sony RX100 Mark V, I'm in for about $1,600 for an actual cinematic vlogging and short filmmaking rig. It's expensive, yes. It's very high quality, yes. It has all of Sony's color science built in. It doesn't have the S-Log3 or the S-Gamut Cine color science that the Sony a6500 has. This compared with the Zhiyun Crane is $1,600. Now, that compared with the Sony a6500 setup that I just showed you. Here, I'll show you again. Here we go. We have the Sony a6500, the IKAN VL35 monitor, the SHURE VP83 mic, and I have some Savage LED lights, and a MEFOTO tripod. This entire rig, everything, is roughly $2,800. So, unless you have $2,800 sitting around, or you want to max out your credit card or call your mom, this is probably going to be your best bet. So here it is. We have the Zhiyun Crane, we have the Sony RX100 Mark V, I have an Arca Swiss type quick release here added. Look, here's the deal. People like Casey Neistat who have vlogged with a GorillaPod, a Sony a6500, or a Canon 80D, they've curbed the market, okay? They've got it down really well. It's a quick and easy and great way to vlog, but he has mastered that. Let's figure out a new way to vlog. I want smooth cinematic footage. I want to be able to capture transitions well. I want to be able to capture cinematic shots and use this tool to its full capacity. With this type of setup, you have full reign to really shoot some really neat and cinematic shots. What's even more beautiful about this is with this flip-up screen, you can still get the full transition of the gimbal. You see here? The gimbal arm right here actually doesn't interact with the screen. Let's look at it this way. With the Zhiyun Crane, it's got a few settings in here. It's got 4 presets. I'm not going to go too much into detail about the presets. There are thousands of reviews and how-tos and tutorials on how to use the Zhiyun Crane. What's really neat though is when you're shooting in this vlog mode, if you just hit the button 3 times, look at that. It's going to turn around and now you're in full selfie mode. And you still have the transition of the gimbal. This is a great, really neat rig. I love it. Now, you guys are gonna ask me, so how do I put the darn thing down on any table to shoot, like on a tripod, or if I wanna go out and shoot something really cool, how do I put the darn thing down? Well, DJI makes a tripod with a 1/4-inch screw on it. It's a DJI, it was actually made for the DJI Osmo. I picked this up on Amazon for like 30 bucks, and I carry it with me wherever I go. So, you have your Zhiyun Crane, your handle, nice small form factor. You screw this bad boy on, like so. Now, what's neat is, for taller fellows like me, you have roughly an 8-inch extension on your actual handle, and you can move it around like so, and obviously it folds out like that. And you can flip this out and you have an even bigger tripod stand. So this is what I use to put things down on the ground. So, and when I'm done vlogging, I just unscrew it, put it in my bag. This combination I really think is going to be best for the price-conscious consumer, as well as the vlogger or prosumer who is really looking for a rig that they can take anywhere with them. They can be compact, they can pack it anywhere, and they don't have to worry about taking this entire setup. Now, this will not replace my A6500 setup. This setup for me right here is made entirely for doing reviews and doing tutorials here in the house. I have no desire to take it with me. That's why I have this. It's easy, it's convenient, that's why I have it. And for those of you who are looking for easy and convenient, I really think this is gonna be your best option. What's really neat too is that if you're shooting in a really slow frame rate and you're getting a lot of light in the camera, it allows you to control the aperture setting from the actual front of the camera. So you can control it from all the way from f1.8 to f22. So when you're running and gunning and you're shooting and you can see yourself on the flip screen and you see that you're kind of blowing out the highlights, or that everything's underexposed or overexposed, you can always make the adjustments from here, which is really super convenient. It's great. That kind of accessibility is only available if you use a neutral density filter on your A6500, or if you set up a custom button and you have to fidget with it. So in terms of really not having to think about your shooting, this really is the best setup you can possibly get. So let's take a look at the video quality. So I'm gonna grade this kind of vintagey, but I am gonna be shooting fully on the Crane and the RX100, and I'm just gonna kind of do some sweeping shots. Let's talk about battery life. The Sony A6500 is notorious for having terrible battery life. For some, that's not an issue. For me, it is. I don't want to be carrying around 5 batteries when I'm out shooting. The RX100 does not have that problem. In case you guys are wondering about the Sony A6500 battery life, I'm shooting this sub 10-minute video with minimal takes. I've probably got about maybe 15 minutes of actual record time through 4 distinct videos. I'm already at 42% battery life. That's on a fully charged battery. So you can really see why I'm suggesting that you use the Sony RX100 Mark V versus the A6500 if you're looking for a small form factor in your vlogging rig. So conclusions. I was wanting to present this as an alternative to a Canon 80D or a Sony A6500 setup. You are paying a lot for the Crane. You're getting a heck of a deal on the Sony RX100. The autofocus on the Sony RX100 isn't quite as fast as the Sony A6500, but it's not that noticeable. In the right light, in most lighting conditions, you're going to get extremely lightning fast autofocus. It has all the same focus characteristics as the A6500. It's just a tad bit slower. I really don't think you're going to notice it. My conclusion is, I would look into the A6500 if you're okay with the size and moving it around in the battery life. I would really look into this setup. It's $1,600 as opposed to the $2,800 setup that you're actually seeing through the lens. I would highly consider looking at this as your primary vlogging kit or your primary cinema kit, especially if you're on a budget. The quality of the video and all the benefits you get with using this rig, I really think outweigh the cost. You're really getting a $2,800 rig for $1,600. If you're like me though, and you want to have dedicated cameras for each situation, I would suggest getting both. You can get the 6500 in this setup, and you can get the RX100. And if you really feel like maxing out your credit card, you can always get a dedicated photography camera as well. I use the Sony A7R Mark II. I use this 100% only for photography. It's got a 42 megapixel sensor on it. It's incredible. I'm primarily a photographer and I love video, so you can get all three if you want. It just depends on how much you want to spend. If you like videos like these and you want to see more, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate your support. If you're interested in seeing my photography work, please visit my website, www.evanscstone.com. I really appreciate it. All the products that I've spoken about today will be in the description below. By all means, leave comments. Let me know what I'm doing wrong and what I'm doing right, or what you'd like to see, or if you have any questions about what I've talked about today, please, by all means, reach out to me. I am absolutely here to help you out. We'll see you guys next time, and happy shooting. I don't look too bad today.